You're listening to Make Some Noise podcast, Minisode number 508. Welcome to Make Some Noise podcast, your guide for strategies, tools, and insight to empower yourself. I'm your host, Andrea Owen, global speaker, entrepreneur, life coach since 2007, and author of 3 books that have been translated into 18 languages and are available in 22 countries. Each week, I'll bring you a guest or a lesson that will help you maximize unshakable confidence, master resilience, and make some noise in your life. You ready? Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome to another Minisode. I'm so glad that you're here. Just a quick reminder that there are still a handful of spots left for those $97 one-on-one spots that I've been talking about. I'm only offering 25 of them. They're very limited, and this price will probably never come back again. If you want a chance to work with me, and that would be a great place to do it, AndreaOwen.com/one, O-N-E. And if there are still spots there, the sign up button will be there. I wanted to talk to you, big deep breaths. Did you hear that? If you guys knew the amount of thinking I did about my breathing here into the microphone, how much spit is in my mouth that's hitting this shield, I don't know. I just am sensitive, I guess, when I listen to it on other people's shows. Some are better than others, and I just it's maybe something I'm a little self-conscious of, just something I think about. And now that I've put that in your ear, maybe when you weren't even thinking about it. Anyway, I want to talk to you today about the point of no return. You guys have probably heard me talk about this several times, whether it's in passing, when I'm interviewing someone here on the show, or in a minisode, or in some of my books. Typically, I refer to it as the place where, and this is sort of like generic terms when I'm talking about it, the point of no return, when you are in a place of healing or transformation, growth, movement, and you get to the place where you have a bit of self-awareness and you realize something, either something that needs to change, that you have been behaving a way that is incongruent with your values, that you need to take some action on something needs to be different. And sometimes it's also you have a bit of self-awareness around maybe you haven't properly let yourself grieve something that took place in your life, or you're in therapy and your therapist sort of helps you pinpoint some things as to why you behave a certain way in your relationships, and that it's directly a result of some childhood stuff that went on in your family of origin. So you have this bit of self-awareness. And then you're in this place of like contemplation or, being stagnant, and you maybe are sure or are not sure the way forward. And either place is uncomfortable. So maybe you do know the next steps that you need to take. Maybe in therapy, it's EMDR. Maybe it's that you need to leave a certain job that you're in that you realize is not working for you anymore, or a relationship. This is really common in relationships. And you're kind of like frozen, paralyzed. Like, oh my God. And also, sometimes you don't know what the next step is, but you know something's going to change, but you're not sure what it is yet. So that place, you cannot go back. You cannot unsee what you have just realized, what you have just witnessed, the epiphany that you have come to, or maybe it's finally surrendering and listening to your intuition when it's been talking to you for a while. You can't go back to the place of either denial or just unknowing. A lot of times it's not being in denial. It's just not knowing some kind of information, or maybe not listening to your intuition. Can't go back there, but also either aren't ready or don't have the opportunity to move forward. And what I'm talking about is usually when you're not ready. And this place can be unbearably uncomfortable. It can be so stressful and anxiety inducing. And it also, this place can also depend, I believe, on your personality and maybe your history. So for me, when I get to this place, a lot of times I'm ready to jump forward. I'm ready to like take action into the next chapter of my life, but either logistics are preventing me from doing it, or usually logistics. Like something's going on where I can't, and I have to surrender to just time unfolding as it is. And for me, I think I'm so anxious to get to the next place of betterment. I'm like, okay, that over there is going to make me feel better. Like that over there is going to make me happy. It's just, growing. I want to grow, be over there. And you can't yet, which the whole notion of like being over there is going to make me happier is a whole different conversation in and of itself. I'm just telling you where my brain works, how my brain works. I'm not saying it's the right way. I'm not saying it's always the healthiest way, but that's how my thoughts go. Shopify's already taken the cash register online, helping millions sell billions around the world. But did you know that Shopify can do the same thing at your retail store? Give your point of sale system a serious upgrade with Shopify. With Shopify, you get a powerhouse selling partner that effortlessly unites your in-person and online sales into one source of truth. Track every sale across your business in one place and know exactly what's in stock. Connect with customers inline and online. Shopify helps you drive store traffic with plug-and-play tools built for marketing campaigns from TikTok to Instagram and beyond. Get hardware that fits your business. Take payments by smartphone, transform your tablet into a point of sale system, or use Shopify's POS Go mobile device for a battle-tested solution. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/noise, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/noise to take your retail business to the next level today. Shopify.com/noise. It's hard to find a great mentor who can help me level up. My dream mentor, Shonda Rhimes. So I was really excited when I heard she has a class on Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 plus of the world's best. For just $10 a month, an annual membership with Masterclass gets you unlimited access to every instructor. And you can access Masterclass on your phone, computer, smart TV, or even in audio mode. I'm always looking for ways to be a better writer, so I took Shonda Rhimes' screenwriting class. It helped me gain concrete technical advice, including structuring, the writing process, and with shows under her belt like Grey's Anatomy and Bridgerton, it was so helpful. Plus, every new membership comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Don't wait another moment to start your learning journey with Masterclass. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/Andrea. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/Andrea. Masterclass.com/Andrea. All right. So, and some people, it's not that way. They're content to keep procrastinating, to kind of fill that space as long as they can. And it's probably a comfort zone thing. Like you kind of get comfortable in that place. But I kind of want to focus on when you're feeling a little frustrated in that place of being stagnant, impatient. And I think many times we worry that we're missing out if we're not jumping forward and grabbing onto any opportunity that comes forward. And I mean, I am so guilty of this in relationships. I remember a couple of instances in my life where I have not really taken the time to heal. Well, it's not a not really, where I haven't taken the time to heal, taken the time to just pause and take a beat and sit in that discomfort and grief regarding the thing that I had just walked through and walked out of. And instead, like jumping on the next thing so quickly because I felt like, all right, I need to grab this opportunity. It's here in front of me and it's a good one. It's good enough and I don't want to miss out. And I think especially as we start to get older and we go through these transitions, for some, this can be even more intense, that feeling of needing to grab onto any and all opportunities that come our way. And I don't know about you, but I have felt like it is one of the hardest things ever to surrender to just divine timing and knowing that, and this is where I might get a little bit woo-woo, But things are unfolding as exactly as they should be for you. I don't know if I buy into the whole, like, there are certain things that are our destiny, and I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. I think in a kind of grand general sense, yes. Like, some people have a destiny to create huge change in the world, and for others that happens in other lifetimes. But I feel like the smaller, more minutia of life, like, well, I don't know. I don't know if it was my destiny to go to Food Lion instead of the other grocery store this weekend. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I digress. But I think that what I'm trying to emphasize here is that what I would like for you to think about is trusting that divine timing is happening. My friend Rachel Luna says, if not this, then something better. And that's one of my favorite mantras when I get really stuck on holding on to an outcome of something. Like, I really want this contract to go through. I really want this person to say yes to my offer, whatever it is. And we get so caught up in that, and we have no control over the outcome. We have no control over these opportunities coming up. We have very, very small control, I should say. If not this, then something better is one of those mantras that you can lean into when you're having those times of like, feeling like if this doesn't work out, my life is ruined. If this doesn't happen the way I want it to, screw it. It doesn't matter anymore. And we can get into those places so easily, especially when we're in those vulnerable states of transition, of grieving, of loss. And so my invitation for you is to find out like what your red flags are. Like, for me, it definitely is when I start to obsess on certain outcomes that I want. And it is a dopamine hit, man, when you're thinking about, or for some of us who obsess, like myself, when we obsess or think about certain outcomes and we like play it out in our mind, and, and that can be like a manifesting thing as well, which I think can be healthy for some, for sure. Knock yourself out. And it's a dopamine hit. And when we find ourselves, and again, by ourselves, I mean me, like over and over again in that place, it's like, okay, that would be great. That would be amazing if it worked out that way. And if not this, then something better. If not this, then something better. Because we don't have any control. It depends on the client or the friend. I might say, like, it might be a good idea for you to prepare yourself for any and all outcomes on this. And maybe it's as simple as, if not this, then something better. I think the more we can practice this too, the more we can practice and also being very conscious of being in that place, the easier time we have walking through varying degrees of it being challenging, but walking through any kind of transition, walking through any kind of change in our life, which inevitably all the time. And they all look different, and it depends on the situation, on how challenging it is, but you will face them over and over and over again in your life. And I think the more consciously we can walk through them with intention and knowing where we get stuck and aren't our best, wisest self, that can be the most helpful. The last thing I want to say that I just thought of, I remembered, if you don't have my 3-part series, it's a podcast series that's free. And it is specifically for 3 different places in your life. So the first episode is anyone who is like really feeling stuck. The second one is people who are feeling inconsistent in their life. 1 minute they're doing really great with everything all their personal development stuff, and the next minute they aren't. And then the last episode is for anyone who's already feeling great and just wants like a massive pep talk. So they're more motivational than learning and teaching and me asking you a bunch of coaching questions and things like that. But they're definitely there for you for free. So AndreaOwen.com/free if you're feeling like you want those extra secret podcast episodes. And thank you so much for listening to the show. I'm so glad that you're here every week. I appreciate you so much. And the best thing that you can ever do for me is to tell people about this show. And especially maybe somebody who's going through a change right now in their life and in transition and feeling stuck and feeling frustrated and impatient and hates that uncomfortable feeling. Okay. So remember, it's our life's journey to make ourselves better humans and our life's responsibility to make the world a better place. Bye for now. Hey, did you know there's free secret podcast episodes waiting for you that are not part of my regular podcast feed? Yes. AndreaOwen.com/free. And you just sign up. You get a link sent to you. It's very secret. It's like a secret club. We don't have a secret handshake. Don't worry about that. But it's these motivating podcast episodes that I made for you. They're under 20 minutes each. There's 3 of them. They're for wherever you are in your life. So head on over there and grab them. They range from really supporting you and seeing you where you are and being compassionate, all the way to giving you a giant kick in your ass and telling you how amazing and gorgeous and phenomenal you are. So AndreaOwen.com/free and get your hands on that free podcast feed.
I'd like to introduce you to the Minimalist Moms podcast. It's hard enough being a mom, and the last thing you need is stress from too much stuff and an overcrowded schedule. For too long, I lived with the mindset that bigger was better, and the more I added to my life, instead of feeling better, I felt overwhelmed. It was time for a radical new mindset. Less is more. I'm not into extremes. I didn't throw everything away. My brand of minimalism is more about adding than subtracting. Get rid of the excess to make room for what you love. In other words, it's about living life with purpose. I hope you'll listen in, and my guest and myself can inspire you to think more and do with less. The Minimalist Moms podcast, available wherever you listen to podcasts.